All right. Well, when you hear that music, that means it's time for the Soulful Psalms segment of Beacon of Truth. The Soulful Psalms is where we break open God's Word in the book of sung praises, the Psalms from the wisdom literature of the Old Testament that we hear in every holy sacrifice of the Mass to connect it more deeply to your everyday lived experience. And of course, I'm using the Revised Grail Psalms, the new translation of the Psalms that's been approved for use in the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass and prepared by the Benedictine monks of Conception Abbey. And today we're going to finish off Psalm 81. Psalm 81 is by Asaph. That's in Book 3 of the Psalms, Psalms 73 to 89. And those Psalms 73 to 83, are by Asaph. So we've already looked at most of the Psalms. We're going to start at verse 14 of Psalm 81. And remember, you can download all of these Soulful Psalm segments from the EWTN app or EWTNpodcastcentral.com or, Spotify or iTunes or whatever your favorite podcast medium is. All right, Psalm 81, verse 14. Oh, that my people would heed me, that Israel would walk in my ways. At once I would subdue their foes, turn my hand against their enemies. So evidently here, Israel is struggling in their relationship with God. And in the midst of this struggle, they're kind of looking toward other avenues to resolve their problems instead of looking to God. So in a sense, Asaph here is putting words in God's mouth. It's like God is saying, oh, that my people would heed me. Hey, Israel, turn back. You want your solutions? Don't look for it in the world. Look to me, And he's saying, if you do that, at once I would, subdue your foes and crush your enemies before you. And he continues in verse 16. Those who hate the Lord would cringe before him, and their subjection would last forever. But Israel I would feed with finest wheat and satisfy with honey from the rock. So those who turn their backs on the Lord, they're going to fall into the own pit that they've made. They're going to have to suffer the consequences of their own free will decision to say no to God. And that subjection will last forever. To me, it's alluding to the fires of hell, right? Separation from God forever, which is what hell is. The free will decision to say no forever to God's invitation to love, life, intimacy, and communion. But he says, but Israel I would feed with finest wheat and fill them with honey from the rock. Kind of a little throwback there to Exodus. Right, we fed them with the manna from heaven, and instead of water from the rock, they're saying here, satisfied with honey from the rock. The sweet taste of God's love and incredible divine mercy working our lives is even sweeter than honey, right? And another psalm talks about it's even sweeter than honey from the comb. So the lesson here is to always savor the sweetness of the Lord working in our lives and not to look to the culture for answers to life's questions or struggles.
For more on the Soulful Psalms with Deacon Harold Berg-Sivers, check out Beacon of Truth weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio and streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts.